All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Rule 34 podcast, season 3. I'm Jack, joined by
Dominic Castillo.
Giovanni.
All right, so we are back today on a Friday. It is December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty okay. Still a bit sick. At this point, I think it's just more than the comical. It might be the flu. You know, it is what it is. Work has been not so POG championship lately. As of the time of this recording, out of this entire week, I'm only going to be working this week as well as Geo. Next week, I don't think we're even scheduled to work at all. So that means less money. But that means if we make no money, that means we make. That means they take less taxes away from us. I don't know. Aside from that, what else? Everything else has been pretty slow. My parents, my brother, and I are preparing for the Christmas gatherings. They'll be coming up tomorrow, as well as my brother's birthday that is on the 25th, which is pretty PogChamp. What else? Yeah, I've been buying some gifts, and you know it's all coming together. You know, slowly but very nicely per se. Have you guys been, man? Pog?
At first, I was pretty much like Dominic in the sense that I was kind of like upset that I wasn't gonna work for 2 weeks. But then, it was like fortuitous timing. My grandma came to visit during these 2 weeks of no working, so I have a lot of time to spend with her. What else? I don't know. It's kind of nice not having like any responsibilities for a little bit. You could, I don't know, go back to editing maybe and things like that. It's just nice having time again. But besides that, I've also been Christmas shopping. I went with the boys a few days ago to get Christmas for the fam. What else? I don't know what we're going to do for Christmas this year, to be honest, because my aunt wants us to go to her place, or my grandma wants to stay here at our house and have people over. So, you know, overall it's been pretty pog being home with my grandma. She's the best. The only thing that sucks really is not having anything to play. Like, Overwatch is kind of dead right now because it's very unrewarding for like the ranked side of it, and quick play is just not fun anymore for me. And I don't know, I've just been going back and forth between games. I was thinking about playing Apex, but then I saw a clip of a streamer dying to a Pathfinder that just spawned in front of him with no audio, and I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that again. So yeah, it's been kind of tough gaming wise. How about you, Jack? How you been, man?
I've been doing pretty well. I was doing Christmas shopping as well, of course, with the boys, and then yesterday as well. Treated myself a bit by getting me some shoes and a sweater. I did my shopping for pretty much my whole family. I need to double check something, but that'll be after this. And then other than that, I don't know. I haven't been playing games as much. I've just kind of felt bored. I've been playing a couple of different games, but when it comes to Overwatch, I don't think I've touched it in a while just because, I don't know, the current meta just isn't for me, and it's so difficult to play through and grind when you have a meta like that in the game. Like, I don't know. It's just so... It's not just boring, but it's so frustrating, especially as, like, a support player, you know? Like, right. I've mentioned it time after time. Like, at least in the previous meta, you know, as a support player, it felt pretty easy to deal with a Winston in the dive meta. It felt pretty easy for the most part to deal with most tanks as the different supports. Like Lucio obviously can speed boost away. Kiriko can teleport. Baptiste has his jumps. Ana has her sleeps. Stuff like that. Brig has her shield bash that she can use to get quite a distance away, or her knockback to knock the enemy away. But like even now, it's like you can technically still use those, but it just feels so much more difficult and annoying to deal with the current meta as those support players, because it's like your only counter at this point is just sleeping the freaking enemy tank that's coming into the back lines just to go after you. And obviously that's been the strategy of the game for a while, target the supports, but like it's just so much more annoying, and I don't know, I just don't have any motivation to play the game with the current meta. Like at least last season, the first season, it was like very fun to play, and some people would be like, "Oh, that's just because it's the honeymoon phase and all that." But like, there was something fun. It was like almost like season 1 of the first Overwatch, where it's like there was just something fun about the fact that like there was technically a meta, but you could still pretty much play almost any combination of heroes you wanted. And now we're back stuck to if you want to win the game, you got to go with these characters.
I was playing a few days ago, maybe 2 nights ago, and I was on my Widow, just trying to get my shot better. And for some reason, like the enemy tank, I think he started off as a hog, and I was just headshotting him a lot, at a distance. And I guess like I pissed him off, because then he switched to Doomfist, and he was literally chasing me nonstop. Like I would try to like get away with my grappling hook, because I got away, he's gonna stop, and then he just like cues onto me, and then he tries to slam me into the wall, and then I was like, okay, I'll just jump off of the building and go into my team for like more protection. And he literally focused me for the entirety of the game until like the last round. I was like, dude, what's your problem? And then he said he wanted in chat, he said that he hated me, and he wanted my skull to fall through my body. And I was like, dude, it's quick play, relax, man. I don't understand what I did to like get such like aggravation out of him, but that was just very interesting.
Yeah. Overwatch and its players' fan base is something else. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. I'm trying to look for other games to play while still playing a lot of the different ones I have. Like still trying to play my way through the recent Pokemon game. Still trying to play through a bunch of older games. I don't know.
May I recommend Need for Speed?
I'll probably see if I can get it after
Unbound,
or during the holiday season.
Featuring Rocky.
There's a lot of games on special right now, like AAA titles that are on special right now. I bought Cyberpunk and God of War 2018, but I don't know. I was like excited to play both of them, but then I played for a little bit, and then all the dialogue and like typical storytelling, I was like, dude, I'm not in the mood for this. I just want to kill things. And then for Cyberpunk, it was going well, but then like there's this one character, like he's like your best friend or whatever. He just talks so much, man. Because they have to like, it's the whole like universe building, getting to know who like all the bad guys are. But they give you like a 20-minute monologue of who the guy is, and I was like, dude, I'm tired of this, and I stopped playing it. But at one point, I'll go back and play it again, or continue playing it, I should say.
Yeah, definitely gotta look into other games right now. I don't know. It just kind of sucks that there's nothing multiplayer wise. Like, I mean, there's a ton of games out there, but like for the most part, a lot of them just get boring quickly. Like I think back to like just a couple years ago. It's like I look at all the different games me and my friends would play, and it's just like, I don't know. it was like we'd play them, and then after like a month or two of just playing it, it was like it got boring. Even like when we tried to rotate between different games, it's like it still ended up just getting boring or repetitive, you know.
I've been watching a lot of like older videos, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, of FaZe Jev, and I don't know. I feel very like sad because I wanted to like return to like that era of Call of Duty where it was like a lot more fun to play them. Because I was watching World War II, and I know the World War II is not, in like people's opinion, not one of the best Call of Duties that's ever came out. It's probably like C tier. But to me, it was a lot of fun playing it, and I felt like very like sad and depressed that even if I wanted to play that game again, the servers are dead. There's not enough players playing it for me to go back. And if I want to play the new Call of Duty, where like the sniping has changed and all of that other BS, it's like, man, what has happened to these games?
Man.
I don't know. I think like we've had like multiple things, but it's just kind of weird that like so many of these games are just not that good anymore, you know? Like we made a joke about it when we went shopping, you know, that like there's people out there that not only still buy the new Call of Duty games, but get excited for the new Call of Duty games, you know? Ugh. But in other news, to quickly transition, as I mentioned at the start of the episode, we are 2 days away from Christmas. Thinking about in the current time, do you guys have any plans? I know, Joe, you were kind of talking about it, but do you guys know if your family has any plans for the holiday?
Oof. I think for me, it's either going to be two things where on the 24th, we are going to try to do like a bit of Christmas, I guess, surprise per se. So basically, how my parents used to do it when I was younger, we would always go to another like another family member's place that we will all gather at. However, how we would do it is that in order to give a sort of like Christmas surprise that, Santa came to our, apartment and, ate the cookies, deliver the presents, drank the milk, we would try to deliver the presents while we were out. And, the same thing would be said for all the other children. Well, I guess, in the family per se. And we're going to try to do that again, considering, COVID's over, thankfully. Well, not over, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to do that this year. But I think just overall, we're just going to have a big family gathering for the 25th, which is we're going to celebrate my brother's birthday at home, which is going to be a little risky considering that door is going to be open. If that door is going to be open, the cat right now, and if the cat runs out, we're going to get evicted. It is what it is.
Just close the door. 5 head.
We could, but then the cat, wants to run out, and then she gets panicked, and then blah blah blah. And then she starts to hear a lot of people outside, and then she gets more panicked because she's curious, but she can't leave because the door's closed on her.
Did you just give her like catnip or something?
That's true. Although it is a temporary solution, it is that it has. No, yeah, that's pretty much it. I might be traveling to go somewhere the 27th or the 28th after the time of the Christmas. For New Year's, I know we're stretching a bit for New Year's, but honestly, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for New Year's. We're probably going to stay home, just celebrate. We might go to an aunt's house and celebrate elsewhere, which is usually what we do. But it's gonna be slow. It's not gonna be crazy per se. But yeah, that's pretty much Christmas now. And honestly, it's kind of like depressing these days, considering since we have jobs and stuff like that, now we're buying our own Christmas presents and stuff. Usually, obviously, as with children, we would have things bought for us. Even if it was a small present, I would still be 100% grateful. But I mean, now that considering we could buy things for ourselves, is it really special? You know what I mean? Is it? I mean, it's the thought that counts, sure. But it's. I mean, it's different now. It's not the same as before. I think it's.
Speaking of that, I remember when I was little. I've said this before, but I grew up poor, very poor. Coming from an immigrant family, we were hard-stuck bronze basically, and all my friends would get the new PS4, bunch of new video games, and I would just be there like Mom, I want a PS4, I want a PlayStation, but we couldn't afford to get a PlayStation. But last year, it's we're better off now, obviously, but. Last year, my dad was doing a lot of investments in property in Mexico. He was basically he bought his mom's house and his sister's house and renovated it to make apartment complexes, and that was very expensive, obviously. So he didn't have extra money to throw around on luxurious Christmas presents. And I literally got a bunch of clothes, and I literally couldn't have been happier. I got three sweaters and a few shirts. And I don't remember being happier while receiving a present, because it's not at that point I was kind of I don't want any more technology, because what's the point? I could get the latest iPhone, but it's still a phone. I don't really need that. But yeah, it's it's kind of sad that we could buy our own. It's not it's sad in a way that we could buy our own stuff now, because we don't really need our parents to do it for us anymore. We're not depending on them. But it's also kind of nice because last Christmas I wasn't working, and then this year I started working finally at Boost Mobile. But then I got fired, and I was oh, I'm not gonna have enough money for Christmas presents, because I was really looking forward to buying my parents Christmas presents for the first time I can speak. But now that I have the crypto job and I have more money that I could use, I'm very excited to give my presents to my parents and my sibling, because it's it feels very feels good, man. So yeah, it's sad, but at the same time I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to finally get my parents stuff after so long.
Yeah, I respect that. It also takes off financial burdens of other people, and So that's also something very good to get through. Not unfortunately, the reality of the fact that not every parent can provide the most, as you stated, the most luxurious presents. But when you yourself can provide it, that's the PogChamp moment, man. That's when we've crossed a very good threshold or achievement, or I guess milestone, in terms of providing happiness for our parents, who have provided happiness for us for years growing up. So we're turning back the favor for a bit,
There's a saying for that. Once you reach, it's kind of checkpoints in life. There's something like that. Once you're able to do this, then you've reached this part of life, and then from here on out, you're going to basically live how life has been dictated in the past. It's something like that. I don't remember how the saying for it, but it's kind of we're pretty much, we've reached a new point in our lives, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, Jack, what's on? Oh wait, but before. For plans, my grandma's she's been asking us a lot recently what we want to eat for Christmas, and my parents really want pozole or stuff like that, traditional Mexican stuff. But then I told her I don't want pozole because I'm tired of eating pozole during the holidays. Literally, that's all we eat. So she's going to make homemade tamales, and those things are gonna slap.
Nice.
Jackie, what's up, man? Talk to us.
Um, as far as Christmas Eve, I know my mom is making tamales. I'm supposed to help her today, I think. I need to ask her because, for the most part, my mom always says she needs my help, and then whenever I go and ask her what does she need me to do, she doesn't like tell me to do anything. She's like, "Oh, I'll call you when I need your help," and then like I never get called, so I have to see with her. But I think my family is also just planning to go out and get some food because we don't want to put too much on my mom's plate of like making all sorts of food, so we might go out to some place and get food. And then I mean, it kind of started last year. We're probably gonna sit around and watch a couple movies. That's something we've kind of done. Is just sit there, spend time with one another, and then we usually open the gifts early because at this point in life, though many of us, or let me put it this way: when you purposely have to stay up till 12, no one pretty much wants to do that. I can stay up till 12 and past 12 accidentally. But when I'm having to like sit there and like be like, all right, I need to pass time until it's 12 o'clock, like it's almost impossible. Like I start falling asleep already, and it's like it's no matter what I do. It's just the fact that knowing I'm purposely having to like pass time until a certain point. But like every other day, if I like accidentally get to that point, it's easier. But like my mom and dad, they usually just open. We usually give them their gifts to open early because, they don't really like staying up that late. Trying to think of what else. Yeah, I don't think we're doing anything else. Still trying to figure out, or I don't think we're really doing anything for New Year's. We already bought our apple cider though for New Year's. After New Year's, my birthday comes around. The AEW event comes around, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's funny that you guys were like talking about your experiences with Christmas growing up. I know we kind of touched on it when we were doing our holiday tier list, but yeah, it's like very similarly. It's like my parents always put in the effort to make Christmas a special time, and the one thing that like you look back on and just sort of appreciate is like you look back to like all the previous months before Christmas time and how there was times maybe you wanted to go out and get food, you wanted to do this and that, and like your parents like didn't, or would tell you, we don't got the money for that and all that. It's like at the time as a kid you were upset, but like as you look back and think about it, it's like during those months they were probably saving up the money just to make sure that they could have something for around the holiday season.
Yeah.
And I definitely, like, looking back, I definitely give props to my parents for just how well or how good they were at hiding gifts. Because it was like, as a kid, you're obviously curious. You want to maybe try and get a sneak peek. And it's like, you never could when it came to my family. Like, they were so good at hiding their presents. And, like, even if you tried to look in the obvious spots, like my dad's closet, it was like, you literally couldn't. It was impossible to find them. And the craziest part to me that I always think about is because, for different reasons, as a kid and even until like now, I'm like, how would you put it? I guess you could say I'm like super attached to like my parents, like as a kid, I was never not by their side and I was always like sticking around them. And then like nowadays, I mainly do that just because I just want to spend time with both my parents. But so it's like as a kid, I was always by their side. And so it's like I think back and I'm like, how the hell were they ever able to go and buy presents if I was always around them, If I was always with them, going with them places, it's like, how the heck were they able to go out and buy some of these presents without me even knowing. I know there was one year, because Dom, you've seen how my dad's car is. It has you can put stuff under the seats and stuff.
Mm.
There was one year where that's where he kept the gifts. I don't know how long he had kept them there, but he told us that one year that's where he had kept them. And so it's like they got real creative with where they hid the stuff. Oh gosh, I just thought of something as I was talking about that and it left my mind. But yeah, they were real good at that, and it's just like I said, it really blows my mind that it's like there was so many times where it's like I was by them and they just, I don't know, they got away with it. And the one shout out I gotta give, if not to my parent, or the shout out I gotta give because it was something that really helped out my parents with gifts and all that. Shout out Kmart, specifically the, what was it called, layaway system, I think it was, where you could go with a bunch of items and be like, I want to buy these items, I don't want to buy them like right now though, keep them here and I'll come like every 2 weeks or so to like give payments, for everything in total. Because, it's like if you don't have the money up front, you can do payments. Kind of like how Dom online now, that there's stuff like that, where it's like, oh, you can buy something with, like every 2 weeks it's a payment,
PayPal has that.
Yeah.
That's how I literally get most of my stuff using that, dude.
Yeah, so Kmart had a similar system where they were like, we'll hold these items for you. You just come pay it off until you're like finished. And I think they had it where it's like it was over a certain amount of time, but that was something we'd always do. Kmart was the place to be, man. They had one in Burbank and they took it out. That was always the one we went to. It was a goated place for my family because it had very cheap stuff there. It had a lot of stuff there. It had a variety of stuff. And it had the layaway system, like I said, which was so helpful for, lower income families, because it's like, if you don't got the money to pay it up front, it's good. You could just do payments,
Right.
And that always helped out during the holiday season. And that whenever we did layaway stuff, that was the one time where when they went to like finally pay it off and get the stuff, those were the one times my parents wouldn't bring my brother and I, or wouldn't ask us for help, like bringing the stuff in. Like they would just tell us, "Oh, just stay here with like your grandmas and all that." And that's the only time I can remember of when they would go like sneak the gifts, is like they would do that and be like, "Oh, we'll be right back," and then they would go more than likely to Kmart and get all the stuff. But yeah, like Gio was saying, we obviously show a tremendous amount of support for our parents for making the most out of their situations, their economical situations, financial situations, to, put their children first. And, you look back and sometimes, I don't know if it's just me, but you look back sometimes, you think about some of the gifts they've gotten you and you're just like, man, maybe they should have just saved their money, but, at the end of the day, I don't think we need to focus on the money side of it, Like, the money is not what matters when it goes into buying a gift, when to giving a gift, like that, getting a gift, I think it's why, it's a common thing, but for the most part, it's like, you don't leave the price tag on there. When they ask you how much it costs, you tell them it doesn't matter, because it's like, that stuff doesn't matter. And that's why I think now it's not even just a thing of like you rarely get presents anymore, but it's like you learn to appreciate the smaller things in life that don't hold as much monetary value. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like with me, it's like when Christmas comes around, I don't think too much of it, because I'm just like, it's Christmas. Obviously, it's fun and all that. It's one of the best seasons of time and the holidays and all that. But like I appreciate just spending time with the family. Obviously, I go out to try and get them presents to show my appreciation, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't stress too much about the value of the gift, you know. Cause like I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's like people out there who are like, I gotta get this person like a really expensive gift, and it's like, to me, it's like, what would you rather? And obviously it's different person by person, you know. And if the person you're giving a gift to obviously values monetary things, then you can't do anything about it. But it's like, what should a person appreciate more? You know, a really expensive gift or a gift that, you know, holds a lot of personal value, you know?
Right.
Because obviously it's like, oh, of course, most people be like, yeah, give me the latest iPhone, give me I don't know, give me like $100 gift card to this place, you know, give me this amount of money, give me this and that. And it's like, I don't know, I think people would have a happier time if they appreciated the little things that come around in this holiday season, you know? Like, I look at it this way. You look at two different gifts. Maybe someone got you just this really expensive, I don't know, like jacket, you know? But you look at it and you're like, you know, it's not to, you know, not say their gift doesn't have value, but you're like, it's a really nice jacket, it's really expensive, but like, it's not really your style, you know. It's not something that you ever really wear, versus someone getting you, I don't know, like 2 shirts from like a show or a game or whatever, like, you know, getting stuff that they know holds meaning to you, you know. Like, they went out and specifically found these items because they knew it was something of interest to you, rather than just going out and saying, let me get like the most expensive jacket you have for this person, you know. And maybe they were being thoughtful because they, you know, it's not to say they weren't, because, you know, they're going out and spending a lot of money on you, but it's like they could have maybe gotten the same value for a gift of lesser price, you know.
I was thinking about it the other day, like the day after we went shopping, and I'm kind of like worried about my gift for my mom, because there's a chance that she already has that wallet, so it's going to be very awkward when I like, oh, I got you this wallet, mom. It's like, oh, I already have this, and then oh no, we're gonna have to go return it and stuff. But the thought is still there. Like, she'll be grateful that I actually got her something that I thought she'd like. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Well, I am looking forward to it, but just like kind of worried. It's kind of, I don't know, like a gift giving for the first time is honestly kind of stressful, because you just like I know my family, but at the same time there's like that level of doubt that I just can't, you know, overcome.
It's true. I think, to throw in my 2 cents in terms of value. No, yeah, you're 100% right, Jack. When it comes to the price tag, it shouldn't really matter too much. But you know, it's basically what the person's best interest is, or what you believe could, you know, benefit them in the future in terms of, you know, shirts or jackets or pants or socks, you know, stuff like that. But personally, I would personally, I would put in a bit of value in terms of price, only so as to make it seem worthy of a present. So, as aside from happiness, there's its way of reliability, if you know that makes sense. Like for example, for my pops, I could have just bought him some fake branded shoes, that in the style of like Timberlands, right? But I decided to go all out, and I mean, I as well have the bit of extra money that'll work. Gio and I worked for, so might as well get him some Timberlands they could be using for work. And as well, I bought him some a jacket because although yes, a bit expensive, I believe that this sort of jacket was like those waterproof, like heavy duty, but it's like good for hiking, good for like weld working because you know he works in welding. So how would you say it? A jacket of that sort of kind would require a bit of like protection per se. So I decided also to go out for that. Same thing with my mom. She can get very cold very fast, and so I decided to get her, one of those really nice ones with like the fur on. You know, how would you say the price isn't as relevant, but it's just a tiny bit. Right? I think I'm just storing my own point here, but anyways.
I mean, like you could get like expensive gifts as long as they're, like you said, like they actually serve a purpose. They're not. Oh, I got you this, like very expensive jacket, just to get you a very expensive jacket. It's good. Like it's justified when it's like, oh, I got you these Timberlands because one, you showed interest in them before, and two, you could use them for at work. So like it's kind of like it's not like there's a purpose behind it, not just I got you these Timberlands because I have money and I could get you expensive gifts. No, it's like I think as long as there's like purpose behind it, it's pog.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I only put myself in this position only because of the crypto job. If it wasn't for the crypto job, I'd probably be definitely putting value over price anytime. But it is what it is. Thankfully, we have a little bit more money to spend. I've already spent a bit extra money for my parents. I bought them some pantuflas. Geos already know what they are. They're basically like slippers, but they look very nice. They're probably very cheap, but like overpriced. But they have a funny sort of comical twist on them in terms of our Mexican culture. What else? I bought my brother this thing. He doesn't know about it yet, but it's a cool thing. It's a large thing. Gio and Joseph already know about this thing. Yeah.
So I want to get like your opinions, like your guys' opinion on something like this. Like it's Christmas. It's a time to get small gifts for the people that you love, and I want to get I was planning on getting my girlfriend the collector's edition of the upcoming Assassin's Creed game. It's like $150, but then apparently it's sold out in for her, so she can't buy it. And I was like, oh, but it's still available for me, so I could just buy it and then have it sent to you. But then she doesn't want to give me her address, so that it's kind of like how I want to get you a gift, but she's like, no, you don't have to give me a gift. It's like, but then I also was like, it's not like she's like, I don't want to give you my address because I don't want you to know where I live. It's more like I don't want to give you my address as a way to stop you from wasting money on me. And it's kind of frustrating. But like, how do you guys feel on you wanting to get something for someone, but that person is very, very, I guess, reluctant in a way, or kind of like forcefully saying no to stop you from doing it? I don't know how much time we have, but that's just the question that I have.
What do you think, Dom?
Well, I've never really been confronted with this particular situation, so I can't really throw in my 2 cents per se. It's a bit specific, but if I had to say anything, so I don't know what to say.
If I can throw my 2 cents in real quickly, I have been on both sides of the coin for this because both my parents are very always insistent on the fact of they don't want any gifts from my brother and my brother and I still go out of our way to give them gifts, So it's like it's kind of it makes it difficult when you're trying to go shopping for them because you're like, what am I supposed to get you if you won't tell me anything you want, and anything you show interest in, you won't let us buy, you know? But at the same time, I know it can be equally as frustrating because I do the same thing where it's like I look at something and they're like, "Oh, just get it." I'm like, "Oh no, I don't, I'm good," you know. And then they're like, "Come on," and I'm just like, I try and cop out and use the excuse of I don't have any money, and then they're like, "Oh, well, let me buy it for you," and I'm just like, no, because like ever since a little kid, that's how I've been. Like I never wanted them to spend any more money on me than they had to, you know. And it's like, so to me, it was like that was kind of my reasoning for not wanting it, but like there's deeper reasons to my actions there than I've let known. But I've been on both sides of the coin where even with like certain friends, sometimes they're like, "Oh, what do you want me to get you?" And I'm just like, I don't want nothing, you know. It's like for my birthday, everyone keeps asking me what I want to do, and it's like I know nothing is not an acceptable answer, especially to my family, but like I don't know what to say other than just I don't really want much, and I don't want to do much, you know, when it comes to like stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's a weird thing. Maybe it's, you know, not wanting to feel in debt to people. Maybe it's not wanting to, you know, maybe it's a thing of like not wanting people to spend money on you. There's a lot of different reasonings to it for people when, it comes to gift giving and wanting to give them gifts. But, you know, a lot of times you just kind of, while it is frustrating, you just kind of got to be patient and understand, you know, that like this person may have their reasonings, and though it may be difficult to understand, though it can be annoying to deal with, it's like sometimes you just got to accept it, you know. But also at the same time, you also got to hope that the other person is understanding of your feelings, you know, that like, you know, it's just something that how do you want to put it, like, you know, you hope that they're understanding that you're coming from a place of like you know, good intentions and love, you know, like wanting to demonstrate, you know, your kindness to them by getting them a gift, maybe because they did something for you, or, you know, if it's a significant other, you know, you want to get a gift for them to, you know, show your love to them, or, you know, just something like that, you know. And it's like, I hope they understand as well that like, you know, that's just kind of what you're trying to do. And it's like, I don't know, the only reason I bring that up is because sometimes it's like, you gotta be careful with how many times you tell someone not to get you a gift, in a sense, you know, because then it makes it start feeling like you don't value their efforts and all that, you know. And then it can cause the other person to you know, have some sort of thoughts and feelings, and like make it feel like they're not, their efforts are wasted, or their efforts aren't valued, you know. So it's like it's like a coin, you know. You got to see both sides to it, and you got to hope that both sides just effectively communicate and understand one another, you know. Like you got to understand that some people just aren't gonna want to accept gifts, and those people also got to understand that people are just trying to do it out of the kindness of their hearts, you know. Christmas is always a very difficult situation, because it's like you always have to go between that struggle of like, you know, or that sort of worry of like, are they gonna be grateful, or not grateful, but, you know, are they gonna be, I guess you could say, grateful or accepting of the gift you give them, no? And being understanding that like it was like the, you know, the people kind of use that phrase being like the thought that counts, but it's like, you know, I hope you at least hope they appreciate the thought that went into the gift process. But with that being said, there's about 40 seconds left on this episode. So with that being said, thank you all for joining for this episode of Season 3 of the Rule 34 podcast. I've been Jack, joined by
Dominic Castillo.
Dominic Castillo's brother.
Alright, we want to thank you all for joining for another episode. Merry Christmas to all. You know, we'll probably be here for a New Year's episode, so I don't gotta say that yet, but just Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays. And as always, if it exists, we have an opinion on it. Thank you, and we will catch y'all in the next episode.